welcome to Science Read. Chloe the scientist, or Chloe Kirk. I have been doing science reads, or challenging myself to read one science book a month, since about halfway through my PhD. And originally I started it as a way to get myself to learn about science outside of my PhD topic. My PhD topic, as all PhD topics are very niche. It was cancer biology with a bit of Alzheimer's, but I was looking at physiological amyloid. And there hit this point where I was just so sick of reading about amyloids. It's like, how can I get myself to learn about other sorts of science? Ergo, science reads. So I've been doing this for, 3-4 years now. And it's always been hosted on Instagram, where I give a carousel post, static post with the book, and then my review. Because I also put that review on Goodreads. I also have been in and out of doing lives, TikTok lives, where I then get on and chat about the book and then answer questions. I thought it'd be way more fun to have something like I could have, say, on YouTube, a bit more of a longer format rather than like just a review that you can read on Goodreads, and dive a bit more into the actual science of the science books that I find so interesting. And then maybe give you guys a snippet for anyone who's like, oh, I don't know if I want to try out this science book. You can tune into this 5-minute, this first intro video might be a bit longer, but hopefully like 5-minute-ish videos about the different science reads I read. So for January 2026, my book was Evolution of Beauty. This is a gift from my dear friend Christian, who is finishing up grad school at University of Miami. And he actually told me a little story in the card he sent with it, that an undergrad he's working with recommended this book to him because it was a required reading for one of the intro bio courses for the undergrads at U Miami. And it was incredible. So that's my little preface, and now we're going to dive into more of my actual review of the book.
Chloe, the scientist.
Science is for everyone.
Why do peacocks have tails? Why do some ducks have bizarre genitalia? But Richard Prum says the answer lies in beauty and choice, not just survival. So in this book, Evolution of Beauty, Richard Prum argues that mate choice, the pursuit of beauty, if you will, is a fundamental evolutionary force. So this video is going to unpack the science behind this book. All right, maybe I need to have my notes up too. Maybe I'll put my notes right behind me, so if you see me looking slightly off screen, it's because I'm trying to reference my notes. Oh. Now, Charles Darwin, the father of evolution, proposed 2 engines of evolution. Natural selection, which you guys all might know from Origins of Species, and the lesser-known sexual selection. Natural selection favors survival, while sexual selection favors traits that increase mating success. Now, Prum's central claim is that sexual selection was sidelined in the mainstream narrative of evolution for over a century, and restoring it changes how we may explain different traits in animals. So crucially, sexual selection can favor traits that reduce survival if they increase reproductive success. So beauty can be costly and still win out. So Prum marshals extensive avian evidence. He loves his birds. He talks about elaborate plumage, complex song, and ritualized displays that often correlate with female preferences. He revisits models like Fisher's Runaway and lands quantitative treatments, but emphasizes aesthetics. Females may prefer traits for their sensory appeal rather than traits that signal health. In Birds of Paradise, for example, selection for display complexity produces forms that are best explained by preference and aesthetic evolution rather than incremental survival advantages. Now, beyond feathers and song, Prum highlights genital evolution as a striking outcome of sexual selection. Across many animal groups, male genitalia evolve faster than other body parts. Why? Well, multiple sexual selection mechanisms drive this. Sperm competition, where males compete at the gamete level, cryptic female choice, where females influence which sperm succeed after mating, and sexual conflict, where males' strategies to maximize fertilization are countered by female defenses. So these pressures produce rapid morphological change, complex shapes, and species-specific designs that are best explained, as argued here, by sexual selection dynamics rather than slow, survival-based adaptation. Now, Prum devotes a whole section to ducks. Truly is a lot of this book, because their reproductive anatomy is one of the clearest, most dramatic examples of sexual selection and sexual conflict in nature. Now, What he says of why he likes ducks so much is male ducks are unusual among birds. So many species do retain a penis, and in some cases they can reach astonishing lengths up to 40 centimeters and are deployed in explosive, rapid erections that are lymphatically powered, not vascular. Now, Prum argues these extreme male traits are not just for show. They evolved in a context of forced copulation, sperm competition, and intense male to male social dynamics, where longer or more elaborate phalluses can increase a male's chances of fertilization. Now, on the other side, crucially, females evolved equally complex countermeasures, convoluted spiral oviducts, and internal morphology that can impede unwanted insemination, which gives females cryptic control over which sperm succeeds. This coevolution, male escalation, and female resistance shows sexual selection and sexual conflict acting together. Now, Prum cites some research that also shows that penis size can be seasonally plastic, growing in breeding season and shrinking afterwards, suggesting social environment and mating system dynamics shape anatomy. Altogether, these patterns make ducks a living laboratory for understanding how mate choice, coercion, and conflict drive rapid, surprising morphological change. Now, Prum's thesis of this book has rekindled some debate. Some biologists welcome the broader role for aesthetics and mate choice, while others caution that adaptive explanations and ecological context remain essential to the whole story. Now, this productive outcome is not consensus necessarily, but it is opening a richer research agenda. New comparative studies, experiments on preference, and genomic work testing how sexual selection shapes diversity. Now, if you care about how beauty shapes life, The Evolution of Beauty is really an essential reading for you. It reframes evolution through desire and aesthetic. If you want to follow along with other science reads I do, stay tuned, hit the like and subscribe and all that, and follow me along my other socials. All right, thanks for tuning in. This was January 2026 Science Reads.
Chloe, the scientist.
Science is for everyone.